Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a Kentucky woman faces charges after a man is found dead from an overdose, and the University of Kentucky takes steps to make it safer for people to walk across the campus after a string of recent crashes.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, 5:35 on your Wednesday morning. I'm Dakota Makris. It's the middle of the work week. Let's head over to Brandon for a check of our forecast this morning. And it's a chilly start to our Wednesday this morning and foggy.
Exactly.
Or froggy, as you called it yesterday during the break.
No, I didn't call it that.
That's true,
I was
yeah.
telling you a story about one time we had frost and frog, and I tried to mix the two words together and say it was froggy outside. So, yeah, it's not froggy.
No.
It's just foggy this morning. And you can see that over at Pikeville at the US 119, US 23 intersection near Pikeville Commons this morning. Very dense fog. 47 over there. That's the warmest spot in the region this morning. But again, be careful if you're traveling in certain areas because that fog can sneak up on you pretty quickly. 35 Manchester, London, 37 Moorhead, 46 Jonesville, 46 Jackson and Prestonsburg, 41 Monticello, 39 in Williamsburg, 46 also in Logan. Heading up to 60 today. Mainly cloudy skies, but I do believe we will see again the possibility for a few breaks in the clouds. The rain, though, holds off until later this evening and tonight. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. A Kentucky woman is facing charges after a Richmond man died from an overdose. Richmond police arrested Amanda Hornsby on Monday. She's charged in connection to the death of Carl Edwards after he was found dead in a restaurant bathroom. As Jeremy Thomas reports, police say Hornsby sold Edwards the drugs that killed him.
Richmond police say Carl Edwards was in a Waffle House along the Eastern Bypass Sunday night. It was there that he made a transaction with Amanda Hornsby and went into the restroom, where he was later found dead. The incident comes after a record-setting year of overdose fatalities for the city.
We've had at least 50 overdose fatalities in the city of Richmond, not Madison County. In the city of Richmond.
So the department is trying to look at new ways to curb this crisis within their community.
And we started looking into it, and I think there was more that we could do as a police agency.
Because of an amendment to Kentucky state law in 2019, they can now charge Hornsby and other offenders of this type with manslaughter. Ever since, they have gone after people who make sales of these controlled substances.
You know, we have a protocol now that if there's an overdose fatality, a detective is called to the scene. They start the investigation.
Chief Richardson says they're also looking to hire a social worker to help people before it's too late.
There'll be a social worker on hand at the police department to maybe be a referral, to be a middle person, to help these people who want it, to provide them that assistance to find something that maybe be able to help them.
But he says they'll need the community's help as well.
You know, I would pay real close attention to my family members and friends, and if you suspect something, ask them the question. Ask them if something's going on that you can help them with and point them in the right direction.
In Richmond, Jeremy Toms.
Well, Hornsby faces charges of trafficking a controlled substance and manslaughter in the second degree. Pikeville police continue to look for a woman who's been missing for more than 1 week. Chastity Nicole Sowers was last seen near the Pike Villa Apartments on January 7th. She was wearing a black and white shirt with a floral or lace design, light blue jeans with holes, a neon green or gray slip-on, and cloth Nike shoes. She left with an unknown man in an unknown car. Any information or tips can be sent to the Pikeville Police Department in private, or you can call the department using the number you see on your screen. State police say 3 Bell County volunteer firefighters were arrested and charged with arson following an incident last June. An arson fire happened at an abandoned structure on Bakken Road in Pineville. The 3 Bell County volunteer firefighters arrested are 19-year-old Jacob N. Hobbs, 18-year-old Andrew Jordan Johnson, and an unnamed juvenile. All 3 have been charged with third-degree arson. Well, the University of Kentucky is taking a look at ways to make campus safer for pedestrians. It comes after 2 recent crashes where someone was hit near campus. Jim Stratman talked with UK's chief of police about the extra steps being taken to keep students and staff safe.
Safety is key for officials at the University of Kentucky, but traffic safety is going to get an extra emphasis going forward.
Recently, we had 2 serious accidents that involved pedestrians. So that reinforces our commitment to educating our campus community.
UK Chief of Police Joe Monroe says that the university will be pushing out safety tips to remind everyone on campus to be aware.
Both on main campus and the medical campus through email, social media, digital sign boards. We are going to be looking at it from a multi-pronged approach. We'll be looking at it from raising the awareness, as well as what are the type of infrastructure or changes we need to work with our transportation services and our community on, and making sure that, one, our pedestrians are safe and our drivers are safe.
Monroe says that it's not just pedestrians that need to be aware when they're crossing the street. It's those drivers behind the wheel as well. Even just a look down at your phone can put you in danger.
You know, if somebody's running a red light or they're disregarding a traffic control device, then we're going to be issuing citations for that. We saw a pedestrian that got struck after a car ran a red light, trying to beat that red light. So that's why we're doing a multi-pronged approach on this.
Monroe says that one of the biggest things you can do to avoid an accident is to stay aware. Put away distractions while you're behind the wheel or crossing the street, and make sure you get where you're going safely.
That was Jim Stratman reporting. Speaking of safety, even though winter is here, people are still hitting hiking trails. So before you head out on your next adventure, the London Laurel Rescue Squad is giving some tips to keep hikers safe this season. Rescue Squad members say it's important to plan out your hike thoroughly. Try heading out earlier in the day, know exactly where you're entering the trailhead and exiting, and make sure to let someone know where you will be hiking and what time you plan to be back.
Sometimes you don't have cell phone service in the woods. You're lucky if you do. That falls back on telling someone that you should be home by, say, 5 o'clock or so, or before dark. And that's going to be your biggest safety, means of safety of getting someone to you if you don't have cell phone service.
Well, Rescue Squad members say if an accident does happen and you have cell phone service out on the trail, once you call for help, it's important to stay where you made the call so rescue members can find you quickly. Well, just had this morning, 2 reality TV stars report to separate prisons as they begin their sentences for fraud charges. One here in Kentucky. We'll have those details in just a few minutes.
Chances for showers and storms will be here by this time tomorrow, and we'll have a much colder start to the weekend. We'll have the latest in after minutes.